They played the Iron Bowl yesterday, sort of. Alabama 42, Auburn 13. Gus Malzahn, how about this little stat to lead it off here? Gus Malzahn, since 2013, that's when he was hired at Auburn, he has played Alabama, Georgia, and LSU 4 times each on the road. You know what his record is against the 3 biggest rivals for the Auburn Tigers on the road? At Alabama, at Georgia, at LSU. That'd be 0-12. That's Malzahn's record right now. And this year, by the way, 2 games they played, Georgia and Alabama, 69-16 combined score. So it hasn't been the best of years for the Auburn Tigers. Now, it's not like they were a preseason national champion pick from pretty much anyone, including those of our listeners and viewers in Lee County, Alabama. Devontae Smith continues to be the best player on the football field any given Saturday afternoon he plays. That was the case again yesterday. 7 catches, 171 yards, bracketed consistently all afternoon. Auburn hasn't given up that kind of receiving performance at all this year, and yet there goes Devontae Smith. And you may look and say, oh, that's just busted coverage. Well, when you watch the replay, you understand it's the player who busted the coverage. There are these things called double moves, and when you do it right, and you got a quarterback that can sell it, all of a sudden what looks like busted coverage is actually something most receivers wouldn't be able to get you to do. Heisman, by the way, before I dive into actual football here, the Heisman process continues to be an absolute joke. It's why we don't entertain it very much. That dude right there that Colin's showing you, number 6, again, is the best football player I see on pretty much any field he steps on any Saturday, and I'm not even hearing his name. And so it's one of the most lazy processes in all of college football. That's why we don't give it a whole lot of time on the show. If you got a Heisman ballot, if you got a Heisman list or whatnot out there, and that dude, number 6, is not at the top of your list, period, much less out of the folks who wear crimson, and I'm including Mac Jones with all due respect, put the pipe down. Would be my advice to you. Let's move on to actual football here. Alabama's defense is rapidly improving. I mean, this has been happening week over week now. Yesterday was just the latest installment of what has been, again, a rapidly improving unit. They'll give up some yards. They'll give up some points. There is no defense out there that's not doing that in the modern age, but they had 8 tackles for loss yesterday. They had 3 sacks, 2 interceptions, gave up 2.9 yards per carry to Auburn on the ground. Their game is very situational, Alabama's defense. Their game is situational by nature. It can afford to be. You know why? Well, it's because of the guy I'm talking about, Devontae Smith, and that entire offense, that machine that Alabama has on the other side. They don't have to be a brick wall. What they have to do is be able to disrupt, which they did yesterday and have done a lot more. Pass rush has come along. They have to be able to disrupt, and they have to be able to contest. And when you watch a lot of these guys, like Malachi Moore and Brian Branch, a lot of these dudes in the secondary are true freshmen, by the way, when you watch how close they are to balls, when you watch how close they are to getting their hands on balls, you know, they're playing the way that you want to play, the way Nick Saban has coached them to play, the way Alabama's secondary played for a while, and it kind of dipped a little bit. You got a lot of young guys that look to restore or look to be in the process of restoring sort of the mantle, if you will, and identity of what you would expect from Alabama's defense. Something else I noticed, I kind of go back to that point I made, it's not just in the secondary. Tim Smith, constant disruptor when he's in the game in the middle, that's a true freshman. We were talking about him a lot on signing day. Malachi Moore is a true freshman who I have to go back to like Minkah Fitzpatrick to remember the last time a true freshman came in and impacted things in the secondary and looked as natural and instinctive in the secondary as Malachi Moore does. Brian Branch has finally gotten on the field and starts to get more reps. He's constantly around the ball. So there are a lot of guys. Will Anderson got a sack yesterday, 31. You see him right there. Colin's showing him to you. I mean, there are a lot of guys who are standing out for Alabama defensively, and it seems like every time they show a replay of one, oh, that's a true freshman. Oh, that's a true freshman. Hey, that kid's a true freshman. Man, let me tell you something about that guy. He's a true freshman. They're going to be around for a while. Auburn fans, you have reason to be upset. I'm not telling you you don't. You got pasted yesterday, and most people expected to see it, but yet, you know, there have been a lot of times where people expect Alabama to beat you and you pull the upset. The offense feels directionless, and a lot of what you're upset about is not so much the loss. You're upset about the loss, make no mistake about it, but Alabama's beaten everyone they've played so far. What you're upset about, at least if I can draw the small sample size of those of you I've talked to as a larger indication of how Auburn fans feel, what you're upset about is overall direction. Like, you don't really feel like much progress has been made this year. Chad Morris came in to be your offensive coordinator, and so you figured there were going to be some elements of the offense, maybe even in a down year record-wise, where you could say, when we get fill in the blank, this piece, that piece, those pieces, when we get those, this offense is going to be really, really good. Did you watch the game yesterday? I know the Auburn folks did, but those of you who didn't, every first down Auburn gets feels like a miracle. Everything that has to happen for them to get a first down right now involves, number one, the original play call totally and completely breaking down and dissolving right before your eyes. And then it involves Bo Nix escaping 2 or 3 would-be tacklers, and then he spins off one foot and then just throws one up in the air, and some dude makes a circus catch. First down, Auburn. You feel like celebrating like it's a touchdown, because that's what it feels like. I don't know what their offense is. I don't know that they really know what their offense is. I asked a number of you, hey, describe Auburn's offense to me. Act like I'm a space alien. I just got here, and somehow I understand football, but I've yet to watch Auburn. And I'm about to settle down and watch them. What am I going to see? I asked you, describe the offense. Can't even describe the offense for me. Offensive line and running back, yeah, they were banged up yesterday. Therein lies the problem. There's no one who's healthy this time of year. No team out there is healthy this time of year. This is the larger underlying issue at Auburn. They don't have championship caliber depth, but very few teams have championship caliber depth. But here's the problem at Auburn. They don't have plus depth either. If you go, championship and then great and then plus and then average and then poor, you need to at least be in that plus caliber range when it comes to your depth situation, to where when you get inevitably your injured players down the stretch, the back half of an SEC schedule, you got competent quality pieces to put out there in their place. Right now, if they don't have that true freshman, Tank Bigsby, if he's not 100%, they don't have a run game. 2.9 yards per yesterday, because you had a hobbled Tank Bigsby and you got Sean Shivers, DJ Williams. These are not premier SEC tailbacks, is my point. Offensive line, they knew was going to be a problem 2 years ago. It has come to fruition, and not only that, they had some guys that were far less than 100% or not playing yesterday off of a unit that's already given them issues. Now, having said that, as much as I tell you, hey, I understand your upset and your frustrations and whatnot, there is no traction on a move with Gus Malzahn. None. Some of you are trying to make that happen. That's not going to happen. This is Mean Girl style. Just stop trying to make Gus hot seat happen, because it's not going to happen this year. As long as he does kind of like a humpback whale does. If you've ever gone whale watching, which I haven't, so I don't know why I just said that, but if you've ever watched National Geographic and you've seen what a humpback whale does, it constantly lives underwater. Like 99% of its life is underwater, and then you just get the, it comes up, it empties the blowhole, takes a breath. I guess that's what a whale does, but then it dives back down. That's Auburn football. They come up every now and then, head gets just above the surface long enough to beat Alabama by field goal, 7 points, and then they go down and they get splattered. And then they come back up, and field goal win again, got a narrow win, and then they go down and get trucked by 40. It's like that's how the Iron Bowl has been, but the thing about it is Malzahn's 2-2 in his last 4 games against Nick Saban. So while Saban's just salting the rest of the earth in the SEC, as long as Malzahn's figured out a way to get it done every year, every couple of years, as long as that's happening, he's not going anywhere, firstly. Secondly, even if that wasn't happening, given the present set of circumstances down there, and combining that with the fact that it's just 2020 in general, so everyone's got their larger overarching philosophy on whether or not you should be making coaching and personnel decisions right now, they are not in a situation behind the scenes down there, financially or institutionally, shall I say, given the other things that are going on the basketball side of things, they're not in a position to be making any move. And that's even if they wanted to. So that's not coming. That's not happening. I will bet you this college football playoff thermos, Auburn's not making a move on Gus Malzahn. And I love this thermos, so I'm really serious when I say I don't think that's going to happen. Alabama's the overwhelming number 1 team in the country right now. I am not telling you they're unbeatable, because they're certainly not. I'm just saying I'd love to meet the team that's going to beat them. Is it Clemson? Is it Notre Dame? Is it Ohio State? Is it someone else out there? Is it Cincinnati? I don't know. But I'm telling you right now, if you played it this Saturday, if you started the college football playoff this Saturday, I would say a prayer for the rest of college football is what I would do. Alabama looks really, really good right now.